Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have Travis and Tim. We're going to talk about ISPs. What's an ISP?
Internet service provider
Internet service provider. That's the person that,
provides your internet service.
right, installs it at your house, and unless you install it yourself, right? And bills you every month.
Very true.
Very true. So we have a whole list of them, and I have a hot question for you. After I tell you guys to subscribe to our newsletter so that you get all my little tips and news. It's a weekly newsletter, so it's not very often. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how to get your free security assessment if you're a business owner. So, ISPs.
Yes.
Does anybody provide dial-up?
No.
Think so?
I remember those days. Do you remember those days?
I do.
When we used to have dial-up and we used to support it?
Well, no, that was before my time.
That was before your time. Okay, so that's
You have
just
a program on your computer, you could pause your download so that way you could resume it later, because otherwise if you're downloading something and someone picks up the phone, it would cut your download out halfway through.
It was horrible. Yes, and when our phone line out the country would have noise on it, so it would like really bog down or it would just cut out. But I also remember.
Oh.
I do. I also remember when we first started getting internet for the first company I worked for. And I remember how excited I was to watch that Netscape screen go up like this. Like, oh my gosh, I'm on the internet. This is so cool. Anyway, moving on.
You're kind of dating yourself.
I know I am. I'm old. I do remember those days though. Oh, okay. So no dial-up. What's the next step up?
I would say probably DSL would be your next step up from that for speed wise.
That's what we got. I remember thinking, oh, this is high speed now. I got DSL.
Yes, lots of places have DSL.
Yeah.
AT&T, Michigan Broadband in your area.
And AT&T. That's who I had. So pretty much any phone service, right, would have DSL. So what are the benefits and pitfalls of DSL?
Well, it's faster than dial-up.
It is faster than dial-up. Not a lot.
Uses two-wire copper right to your house, so you don't have to trench fiber or any other kind of cable.
Use existing lines. There's that.
But it's not very fast.
25 meg, fast enough for most people.
Can you stream video?
Yeah.
Yeah?
4K. You can.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember my kids had this like pet game and they couldn't play it because DSL was too slow.
Depends on the tier service, much like your charter has different tiers of speed, you can do the same thing. You might have just had like 3 or 5 meg, you might not have it.
Also, we're going to get crazy and a little ahead of ourselves, but it also depends how far you are from the station. So you can only push internet service so far down two-wire copper, like your telephone line.
Okay.
In my house, in Felch.
Because you're right next to the box?
No, I'm too far away from the box.
You're too far away from
But
the box.
we put a booster in, halfway down, so I can get 10 meg internet, DSL.
Okay, so DSL is a viable option. Cool.
It's better than satellite.
Better than
Other
satellite.
than Star.
Okay, so that's the next one I was going to talk about, satellite. Not Starlink satellite. I'm talking about like
Like called HughesNet or something like that.
Right, the TV providers, right?
Yep, and the problem with that is you have extreme latency. So for anything for gaming or that requires that, it's just you really can't use it for that because it's just when you actually click something, the delay between the satellite when you're doing it is huge. Once the connection establishes and it starts to download or starts to stream, it can be kind of okay, but there's just such a high delay between different actions that it's just. I've never had a good experience, I guess, with that kind of satellite internet, but
I haven't heard a lot of good experience.
It's fine if you surf the web and
Yeah.
watch. You can stream on it. It might take a little bit for the movie to start, but once it starts, you're good to go. But they cap you.
They cap you,
So you have
which
data cap.
means that you can only use so much data.
Yep.
think of it like your cell phone.
Okay.
With how those work.
Guess what? You can also get high-speed internet through your cell phone service. It's called a hotspot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they have data caps.
Some. You can get unlimited plans.
You can get unlimited plans.
But even the unlimited plan slow down if you hit so many gigs per month.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my
Interesting,
internet. Yeah, it is interesting. I do have an unlimited cell phone plan, unlimited data on my cell phone. And they say they cap it, but I never noticed.
The problem with that is you're in a less dense area too, because how that works is you hit, say, your 25 gigs or whatever your cap is.
Mhm.
Then what happens is you're pumped into the lower priority. So if there's a cell phone tower, 100 people are using it, and 99 of them haven't hit their cap yet, but you have, they're going to get priority over you, and that's where you'll notice the delay. But if you're in an area where there's not many people, it doesn't matter. You're never going to lose your priority out anyway.
Interesting. That's probably why I never
You wouldn't
noticed.
notice it unless you hit your data cap and then you go to like a fair, right? And now everyone around the fair has fast internet and your phone's crawling. You're like, "What?"
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we talked about satellite, DSL, cell phone, and okay, satellite from Starlink, which is
That's all.
different.
Travis got experience with that.
I do too. I like it a lot.
Yep.
I have it.
Starlink's good. It's low orbit. So
Low
your
orbit.
HughesNet is
Okay.
way up in the sky. Starlink's down low. Goes fast. And Elon Musk is smart.
He is.
Yep. So it works awesome. You get like 300 meg download. Good latency. Just as good as Charter. Awesome.
My gamer son
Yep.
says that it works awesome.
Yep.
And he's kind of picky.
Yep.
So that's a good option. It's $100 a month, no data cap.
Right.
You said that, right?
But there is like a $600 startup. And you have to wait.
And you have to wait
There's
in
a waiting
line.
list for it, yeah.
Ah, okay.
There's a neat one. They have an RV one. That's the longest waiting list where you have an RV. You can technically have a satellite, and wherever you go and park, now you have super high speed internet. For the most part.
Anywhere.
Yeah. The goal is eventually
cool.
anywhere.
That
Very
is
cool.
super cool. And I remember reading too that people were like, well, all those satellites, you won't be able to see the stars. I remember somebody saying that. Like, I don't even see the satellites.
No, there's not that. I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's not
Yeah.
that many of them.
Interesting. It's cool stuff. Okay, so there's that one. And the best of the best, right? Or do you call that the best?
Well, it depends what you're going to say.
Fiber?
Yeah, but you missed Charter.
There's regular cable before the fiber.
There is?
Like
Oh,
high speed,
see?
yeah.
They're educating.
Which is still the best.
Okay,
Other
so
than
there's
fiber. So like
regular cable. What's that?
comes in coax, it's fast, fairly cheap, solid, never goes down. But not much.
So it's like the same cable as your cable TV.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Charter comes in, runs the cable, TV, phone, internet.
Most places have had cable TV at one point in time for the most part, so not like you're needing to actually run cables for them.
You would just get the modem.
Yes, you get the equipment plugs in, then they activate it, and then they just charge you.
Cool. Are there data caps on that? No, there isn't. Okay, cool. Do we know how much that costs
You can usually bundle like $100 for
for both?
internet and TV. Ish.
Cool. Cool.
You could probably pay more and get faster internet speeds too.
Okay. Okay, then now we can get to the fastest, right? Still no.
Well, you got NMU internet if you're local.
Oh, I forgot about the NMU internet. Yeah. Okay, can I back up to the cable too? It's just Charter in our area, right? Spectrum.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody else.
Time Warner, down in Menominee.
Okay. Okay. So there is somebody else when you get towards the Wisconsin border.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. What were we saying? NMU.
NMU, wireless, Merit Network, awesome.
It does work really well. I had it before I switched to Starlink, and
Yep.
it was not expensive, especially if you have kids at school.
Yeah, it's
Because
like
if you have kids in
$12 a month.
school, yeah. Okay, so I had a little argument with one of you about whether it was line of sight or not. The tower.
Kind of.
It is kind of.
Well, if you're close, no, you can just blast through whatever because
It
there's
depends
strong
on
antennas.
how far you are away from the tower.
Like
Yes.
where my dad lives, I was looking at it for him. He lives in a low-lying area, so the line of sight for him to any tower that was close by, he would have massive hills, so it would have been harder
Okay.
to direct.
If you're close and you just got to shoot through trees, it'll work. But if you're farther away, then yeah, you kind of.
We're talking like 20 minutes out of town below a hill, it's not going to work as well.
My husband did cut down some trees
Mhm.
to make the line, because every time he cut down a tree between the tower that we put up, by the way, we did have to put up a tower. That was kind of a pain in the butt, but I don't know, it was worth it at the time because that was the only high-speed internet that we could get. But every time you cut down a tree, the signal would go up because you have this little chart, right? And you're watching the signal. Anyway. Okay, that's a good one though. NMU is a good option. And it does cover most of the UP,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you have to be like 12 miles from an antenna, which they're pretty much everywhere. So yeah, pretty much most of the UP.
12 miles. They must have swapped out their equipment since I had it. I was 7 miles and they said I was on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But that's also just the best effort service. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, too bad. Best effort.
Yeah. Yeah. And their support is pretty good. I think it's students.
Yeah, it is.
So if they're not there all 24/7, you have to contact them when they're in the office. But they respond, especially to emails and that. So I would use my cell signal.
Yes.
to send them an email to say, hey, I'm down. And it usually only happened when we had storms and stuff because then equipment would be going down or something. And they were pretty quick about getting back up. Starlink, I will say, is hardly ever down, except for maybe extreme weather.
Yep.
Where you can't see the satellite. Okay, now, do we get to the best one? Yeah? What's the best one? Fiber.
They pretty much got PFN and the new company,
Highline?
Highline. And I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what you have. If you can get Highline, get it. $100 a month, gig download, forget about it.
Forget about it. It's super fast.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my son is geeked if we can get it because he's a gamer.
Yeah, they should be covering most of the UP within like 3 years.
That's cool. So watch out for that one. And any other comments about high-speed internet in our area?
One thing with the fiber is take advantage of it, because if they're going to run the cable to your house and do an installation for $100, at least then you have fiber run to your house for the future if you ever decide to get it later. Even if you need it now, it's a good opportunity to just get it, so that way you're in your future-proof for later.
That's a good point.
It don't matter. $100 a month, you get it.
If you can get it, get it. Okay, awesome. So we made our way through the list, and if you have any questions, feel free to email security@dstech.net, and that is where you can get your free security assessment for your business. We're one of these guys. I don't know if you do those. Do you do those?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
We have
somebody
here. We'll get back to you and schedule that with you, but they go over your network, tell you where the security holes are, and make recommendations. You don't even have to go with us, but we're the best, right?
Pretty much.
Right. So make it a great day, and we'll see you next time.